Okay, hi guys. I gave up on trying to get the other video that I made with the answer key to upload, so we're gonna do this through Screencast-O-Matic instead on the food web assignment. So I'm gonna go ahead and take myself off the screen, and I'll do it on here as best as we can. Okay, so really quickly, we have our top food web here, and on here it's asking us to list the producers, consumers, and decomposers. So hopefully everyone went in here and put the producers are all of your photosynthetic organisms. So we have grass, shrub, if I can spell, and trees. And it's all the autotrophs. Okay? I'm not going to put that on there because that's our next question. B is asking us for the consumers. And the consumers are your squirrel, your grasshopper, your rabbit, deer, insect, eating, bird, shrew, snake, hawk, and mountain lion. Okay, which gives us C is our decomposers. Now on here we have two. We have fungi and we have bacteria. They are not considered consumers because they are considered decomposers. So fungi and bacteria. Oops, there's no D. Just kidding. Okay. So, next question. What are the autotrophs found in our food web? And that would be anything that produces its own food. So, green things or things that do photosynthesis. So, grass, shrubs, and trees. They don't eat anything. They don't consume anything. They are the producers. They are also the autotrophs. So, we go grass, shrub, and tree, which means everything else is going to be eating something, consuming something to get its energy. So everything else is a heterotroph. You can list them out. You should list them out. I'm being fast. List one food chain. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to look. I'm going to go, tree, deer, mountain lion. Food chain done. So tree to deer. And then the mountain lion eats the deer. Okay? If we were to add an organism, how many additional links would it create? So let's suppose I put, how about we put, how about a raccoon? I think I did that in first period. If we put a raccoon in here, a raccoon is going to be an omnivore, believe it or not, and we'll put it in eating both the grass and rabbits. It'll eat small animals like squirrels and rabbits. Okay, so if we do the rabbit, then that would affect the snake and the hawk, but it would also affect the squirrel and the hawk. So you would put the rabbit created, or the raccoon created at least two separate links from it. Two links from it of things it consumes. And the thing that will eat it would be your mountain lion. So one link from a mountain lion eating it. Okay? If we were to remove an organism from the food web, how many other organisms would be affected? So if we were to remove, let's say, the snake is going to affect the hawk, the mountain lion, but not only those two that eat it, it's also going to affect the shrew and the rabbit because those ones get eaten by it. Okay, so that's 4 other animals on this food web. So 4 animals would be directly affected. Now there are indirect ways as well. If, let's say, the shrew population balloons, right, and gets really, really big, well then that's going to decimate the grasshopper population, and then it might also provide more food for hawks. So you might find hawks and mountain lion populations might get a little bigger if there's more food. So it just depends on the ecosystem. I'm not looking at the indirect right now. I just want something that's direct. The next one, why is a complex food web better than a simple food chain for the survival of a community? And hopefully you've figured out by now that it provides more more opportunities for animals to survive if multiple food sources are available. Okay? So you won't have as big of a deal if one link gets knocked out. It won't be as detrimental if you have a giant food web. Okay, so here's where we need to practice for tomorrow's and Friday's quiz. If we have grass with a biomass of 22,000 kilocalories, and actually this should say energy, of 22,000 kilocalories, using the 10% rule, if a hawk eats a snake, how many kilocalories of energy will the hawk get? So if the grass is 22,000 and the hawk eats the snake, now there are two ways for us to get to the grass. We can have the hawk eat the snake eat the shrew eat the grasshopper eats the grass, or we can have the hawk eat the snake eat the rabbit eat the grass. So let's look at look at the more complicated one and see. So if our grass is at 22,000 kilocalories, as we move up, we drop a 0. It decreases by 90%. So you only get 10% moving up. So grass is 22,000, which means your grasshopper is 2,200, which means your shrew only gets 10% of that. So 10% of 2,200, move your decimal over 1, you have 220 kilocalories. And your snake only gets 10% of that, so it gets 22 kilocalories, which means your hawk getting 10% of 22 will have 2.2 kilocalories. So 2.2 kilocalories. Or, let's do the other way. If our hawk eats the snake, which eats the rabbit, which eats the grass, then we have 22,000 here. And then 10% of that would be 2,200 here for our rabbit. If our rabbit gets eaten by the snake only gets 220 kilocalories, which means our snake is giving our hawk only 22 kilocalories. So we have one less link in it, which means we actually get 10% more energy. The closer you are to that producer level, the more energy you'll get. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And let's go ahead and look at the next food web. And this one here is if a snake gets 100 kilocalories from eating a frog. So here's our snake, here's our frog. What is the biomass of the grass? So 100 here, we're going up the food chain, not down. So instead of taking away a 0, we will be adding a 0. So this one has 100 kilocalories. That means the caterpillar has 1,000, right? I'm sorry, the snake gets 100. So this one's 100, this one's 1,000, this one is 10,000, which means our grass is now 100,000 kilocalories. Don't forget all your zeros. Okay? And let's look at the trout. Sorry, it's getting late. I'm not as aware. If the trout is 50 kilocalories, what does the hawk get? So we're moving up the food chain, which means we're going to take off a 0. So 50 kilocalories here means our hawk is getting 5 kilocalories. 5 kilocalories. Okay? And looking at the next one, if the trout has 50 kilocalories again, how many kilocalories did the caterpillar have? So this time we're moving down, which means we're adding another 0. So we go from 50 to 500 kilocalories. Okay? I'm hoping this is making sense. Next, if the plants have 25,000 kilocalories, right here, how much will the fox get from consuming a rabbit? So we have plants at 25,000. Rabbit would then be drop a 0 because you're moving up, 2,500 kilocalories, which means our fox will then get 250 kilocalories, right? 250, oops, if I could, right, there we go, 250 kilocalories, because we went 25,000, 2,500, 250, okay? If the plants have 25,000 kilocalories and a hawk gets 250 kilocalories, what happened to the rest of the energy, the kilocalorie energy? So we talked about this in class. In case you want a quick reminder, the rest of the energy is lost as heat and metabolic activity / waste. Okay? And that is how you will answer these questions. If you have more questions, just send me a quick email. I'll do my best I can. I'm probably going to be pretty much done for tonight after this uploads. But if you have questions, bring them to class tomorrow and I will go over them as best we can. Okay? This is on your quiz, so please be ready for it. All right. Have a great evening, guys. It's not pausing. Pause. End.